Solgaleo and Lunala are the cover legendaries for Gen 7's Sun and Moon. They obviously have a ton of power and have always been really solid Pokemon. However, once they got their Necrozma upgrades, I saw them as the lesser versions. But when they're given additional abilities, they become much better and can even compete with these new forms who have also been given some upgrades. In this video, I will be going over all 4 of them, including Ultra Burst Necrozma, to see just how powerful they've become. Starting with Lunala, the Moon cover legendary is a bulky special attacker with an interesting Psychic Ghost typing. Only 2 weaknesses, but both are 4 times super effective, so they need to be avoided at all times. Its stats are nice, with 137 special attack and 97 speed being enough for great damage. 137 in HP is also helpful for keeping it alive much longer. It still keeps its signature ability, which is great for protecting it from getting one-shot. Shadow Shield halves damage from all moves when at full health. It lets it safely use a strong move or a status move like Agility or Calm Mind. One of its 4 times weaknesses, Dark, is actually reduced by 25% as well as its fairy moves. This also boosts its Dark type moves by 25%. Hidden Power Dark is really its only option. Lunar Eclipse will give it a stab boost as well. Same with its fairy moves, meaning it will have 4 different stab options. Psychic, Moonblast, and Moongeist Beam are very powerful moves to run. Lunar Eclipse also increases the accuracy of Hypnosis by 50%. It basically can't miss. And sleeping Pokemon are in major trouble, as Dreamcatcher will double the power of all of its moves if a sleeping Pokemon is on the field. Lunala is a really difficult Pokemon to fight if you can't outspeed it, and it will threaten the whole team. When fused with Necrozma, this is when things get better. Its special attack is raised to 157 and its special defense is 127. Its speed dropping is the only problem. Its abilities are mostly the same, retaining Lunar Eclipse and Shadow Shield. It now gains Levitate, which is not a great replacement for Dreamcatcher, honestly. Its main ability does change to Mega Launcher, increasing all of its beam and pulse moves by 50%. Moongeist Beam is much greater now, and it now has access to Dark Pulse. Charge Beam can raise its special attack even more. It's really strong, but it's not much better than the base Lunala. The loss in speed makes it harder to take out more Pokemon, but the increase in power threatens a wider variety of Pokemon. The cover legendary of Pokemon Sun, Solgaleo, is a bulky physical attacker with the more manageable typing of Psychic Steel. While it has 4 weaknesses, it does have a lot of resistances. Its stats are very similar to Lunala, but switched around a bit. 137 in attack, with the same amount of speed and HP, built for more physical attacks. While it doesn't have a blanket one-time ability like Shadow Shield, it does have Prism Armor, so all super effective moves against it will be reduced by 35%. It's not as safe as Shadow Shield, but it does make it difficult to take out. Hone Claws is really the only move it has to boost up its attack though. It doesn't really need the accuracy boost, since one of its choice abilities is Illuminate, increasing the accuracy of all of its moves by 20%. Stone Edge is basically the best move it can use to take advantage of this. Pokemon still won't be able to lower its stats due to Full Metal Body. If you want to remove one of its weaknesses completely, you can run Flash Fire. Solgaleo is a great Pokemon to run on a Sun team since it has the Sun Worship ability, so it will get a +1 in its highest stat when entering the Sun. All of its normal moves are actually Fire type now, so they get boosted by the Sun. They also get stab damage. This is because of Solar Flare, as it's Immolate and Chloroplast. Chloroplast basically means it's always in the sun, so moves like Solar Beam and Solar Blade will always take 1 turn to use. While it's a strong Pokemon, it's just not as good as Lunala in most cases. Unlike Lunala though, its Necrozma Fusion is much better. Again, its stats are very similar, just flipped around. 157 in attack and 127 in defense. The speed drop is still a problem, but this form has better tools. The one innate that changes for it is its dropping of Full Metal Body for Impenetrable, an upgrade in my opinion. Not only can it run a Life Orb with no drawback, it can use some amazing moves and removes their drawbacks. Flare Blitz and Psychokinetic Slam are both 120 base power stab moves with their recoil now removed. It's going to blow up plenty of Pokemon, especially if it's super effective since it still has Neuroforce, so all of them will be boosted by 25%. Both Necrozma forms get this as a choice ability. A massive upgrade of it technically being Necrozma is it can now use Dragon Dance to remedy its lower speed and increase its already high power. It's a fun Pokemon to use for sure, and it's definitely the better fusion. As we know though, it's not its final form. Ultra Burst Necrozma is basically a Mega Evolution for these beasts. Mind-blowing stats, 167 in both attacks, so either form can benefit. 129 in speed isn't perfect, but it will certainly get the job done. But here in this game, it doesn't even need to hold an item to Mega Evolve. This in itself is an upgrade. All it needs to do is run the move Photon Geyser, which is already a great move. It can be made even greater if you choose to run Mega Launcher as it gets the boost. Or you can run Rampage and it can use moves like Hyper Beam, Giga Impact, or Prismatic Laser. If these moves get to KO, it won't need to recharge. Not only that, but since it has Beast Boost, its highest stat will get a +1 as well. It can easily run through team after team with ease. Recharge moves are still risky with all the tanks in this game. Soul Eater can be a better option to heal it up after each KO. Ultra Burst Necrozma is one of the scariest Pokemon to see, but in this game, you must game plan for it. Now these Pokemon are all locked to the post game, where you will receive 2 Cosmog after beating the game. They're still interesting to look at and to have fun with. Let me know what you think of these monsters. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Shout out to all the members, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.